Hello and welcome to the part 4 of building the application. In this part of the video, we are going to be adding some button widgets. And these are buttons that's going to be responsible for the play button, the stop button, the pause button, and the on pause button. So let's start creating the buttons. So we're going to start off by creating variables for the buttons. So I'm going to call this button number 1, but you can call it anything you like. And I'm going to set this button 1 variable to equals to the TKR, which is an alias for the Tkinter module. So I'll do a dot button. That means I'm accessing the button element from the Tkinter widget. And inside that button, I'm going to specify some parameters that the button is going to work with. First, I'm going to pass in the music player, which is the variable I created earlier. And I want to set different properties for the button. So I'm going to set a width. I want it to have a width of 5. I'm also going to set a height property. I give that 3. Next, I'm going to add a font property. So I'll type in font and I'll set that to equals 2. The font I like to use is a font called Helvetica. So I enclose the values in quotes. Helvetica. And then I'm going to specify the size of the font, which is 12. I'm going to make it bold. I want it to be bold. The next thing I want to do is add a text property. So this text property basically is going to display what text should be displayed on the button. So I'm going to have this display play in capital. So that's going to represent my play button. The next thing I want to do is specify a command that will be activated when the button is clicked. So to do that, you type in command and you say equals to. I've got a function here called play. So that is the function I'm going to refer to. So I'll say play. So when the button is clicked, it will call this function called play on line 23, and then the function will activate the playing of the music. The next thing I want to do is give the button a background color. So I'm going to say BG stands for background. I'm going to set the background color for this play button to red. And I'm also going to set a foreground color. So type in FG for foreground, and then the value of that foreground, I want the foreground color to be white. So that's basically the first button. So what I'm going to do is just replicate this line of code on line 37 for the stop button, the pause button, and the on pause button. So I have added some more buttons here from line 38 to 40. What I've done, if you notice, the variable names for each of the buttons are different. So that's button 1, 2, 3, and 4. I also changed the text that would be displayed on each of the buttons. So this button will say play, this will say stop, this will say pause, and this will say on pause. And for the command property, I have set it to the name of the function that controls the button. So the first button is controlled by this function called play on line 23. Second button is going to be controlled by the exit music player function, which is on line 28. It's very important that the name you give the function matches the name you specify in the button command. If not, it will not work. And then here for the pause button, we've got the command pause and the name of the function is pause. And for the unpause, the command is unpause and the name of the function is unpause. So the function name has to match the name you specified for the command property inside the button. The next thing I want to do is create a variable that will display the current song title that is being played. So it will display that at the top of the application window. So to do that, I'm going to create a variable called var, and I'm going to set that to equals to TKR. TKR basically is a short form for tkinter, so it's representing the tkinter model. And I'm going to attach the method called string. The S is capital, so string var. Okay, now this string var is a class from tkinter. It is used to monitor changes to tkinter variables, and it also expects the default values to be a string. So now that I've created this variable, I need to reference the actual song that is going to be displayed in that label. So to do that, I'm going to create another variable called song title, because basically that's what I want. I want the title of the song that is being played to be displayed on top of the music player. So song title is going to be equals to TKR, which is tkinter dot, and I want the title to be displayed in a tkinter label widget. So for that label, I'm going to reference the music player variable, which is this variable here. And also I want to attach some properties. I want the font of that to be Helvetica, and I also want it to be 12 pixels or whatever measurement in size, and I want the text to be bold. All right, so those are the properties, and I'm going to also create a variable called text variable, and I'm going to set the value to equals to the variable called var that I created on line number 43. The next thing I'm going to do is to arrange the widgets inside the application window, and we can do that using the Pack Geometry Manager, which is responsible for packing the widgets in rows or columns, and you can use it with different types of options. So the first thing I want to reference is the song title. So I'll do song title dot pack. So this pack method basically is what is going to just arrange the song title inside the application window. The next widget, I'm going to do the button widget. So I've got button 1. So I'll do button 1 dot pack. So this pack manager takes in various options. So one of the options is fill, so which enables you to fill that particular widget either horizontally or in a vertical way. So Y is horizontal, Y is vertical, X is horizontal. So I do X, and I'll do the same for the other button widgets. So I have added some other values here. So from line 48 to 51. So the first button, which is button1 variable.pack, the pack is a method in the tkinter geometry module. So what this fill option does, you can use it to make all the widget as wide as the parent widget. So by doing it, by giving it a value of X, it will stretch out the button so that it is the same size as the container of the application. Okay, so that's what this fill X means. And then here we've got this playlist, and I'm also attaching this pack manager. So for the playlist here, I'm telling it to fill this option fill, and I'm giving it a value of both. So when you use the option of both, you are basically saying that you want it to fill both horizontally and vertically. So basically the widget is going to fill the entire master widget, which is the container widget, and I'm setting it to fill both, which is horizontally and vertically, and also to expand it. Okay, so the value for that expand is yes, which means fill both sides and then expand if necessary. The final thing we need to do is activate the tkinter frame so that it can run the application. So to do that, you type in music player, which is the name of the variable I defined, dot main loop. So this is what will run the application. So I'm just going to do a file and do save, and in the next video we will test the application. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.